Greetings and welcome. This is Byrne for Georgian Crossroads. Literally on crossroads, cross trails back and forth on the side of the mountain here, Matatsaminda, overlooking Tbilisi. And I'm not alone. I just saw a woman with her dog and a couple hiking up here. It's a beautiful day. The air is suddenly much fresher than usual. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about what's changed since the last time I was talking to you here. Essentially, we've gone from soft lockdown into hard lockdown. Some of the things that have changed. Well, there's no more metro. There's no more buses. And you can't get together with more than 3 people at a time. Fortunately, I have a couple of American friends who've moved into town recently, and I can see them. And that makes 3, and no more than 3 people. More importantly, there's a curfew, a 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew, and you are really not supposed to be out after that time. Why? Well, you'll get a close to $1,000 fine if you do. And they're not joking about that, and if you repeatedly do it, you're going to get arrested. So the Georgians are taking this very seriously, and the statistics prove that they're right. They're one of the first countries to have really stepped up the game. They're giving it more to their medical people than they are the government. That is to say, they're following the lead of their doctors, and they had a system in place before this even started. Before the first case showed up, they were ready to go. A friend of mine told me that. She said, yeah, they've been talking and having drills and getting to know. I saw her yesterday, and she said to me that yeah, it's really tough because this whole thing, they're trying to keep the numbers down. So far, the country only has it was 306 last I saw a few hours ago. They've had 3 deaths, 306 cases, 3 deaths. They've had 69 people recover. And then there's another 5,000 people who were connected in some way to those people who are on a serious quarantine. So that's where we are. I thought what I would do is show you a little bit of what the streets look like, especially during the curfew. I have a friend who took some photos down in the center of town, and it's pretty spooky. But yeah, let's get onto the streets of Tbilisi and see what it looks like now. So if you walk down the street from where I live, there are all these change vendors. People who give you change. There you can see it. They'll give you change for euros, rubles, dollars, and more. But these people just gave up the ghost. The government basically told them all to pack it in for a while. And there are lots of them, and the Georgians would use them as part of their economy. But as you can see, they've just kind of given up the ghost, and they just go, okay, like, we give up. And if you walk by there now, it's just absolutely black. Also, right across the street from them, there's a small place. Down that dark hole is a place that makes bread, puri. And above it is another place that makes khachapuri. There's the Cyrillic Russian version. Above that is the Georgian alphabet. And good luck finding that. I mean, I'm sure there are places where you can still find it. But essentially, these little stores have all shut down. That's not essential. Fruit, vegetables, those are essential. But not the little street food vendors. So I walked around the corner from there, and I went to the front of the metro. And normally there are people streaming in and out of there all the way up to usually midnight, but it's been 11 because they've been doing work the last year. But from 6 in the morning till 11. But now it's just dead, and nothing's happening at all. It's all closed. Let's go look inside. And just dead sign above the escalators there. Now, if I cross the street, I'm on Rustaveli Avenue now. And Rustaveli is the main drag through the most important part of town. It goes past the Parliament. All the museums are on this street. And as I start walking towards Rustaveli, you'll see this area up there, porticos with stairs on it. And usually, that is hopping with people. Looks a bit like this. This is a normal day on right off Rustaveli Square. This is the Academy of Sciences and the cinema building. But a lot of people will sell things for tourists and also Georgians who want special things for special dinners. You can come and get a dagger or a drinking horn. And there are other little tchotchkes and bric-a-brac here. Mostly tourist stuff. And that's what it normally looks like. It'll be a normal day, no lockdown, no quarantine, nothing. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like now. It looks like this. Yeah, still a few cars. Most of the cars you'll see will be white because they're taxi cabs. And taxis are the only way to get around. There's no more metro, no more buses, no more minivans called marshrutkas. There's a taxi right there with a green on top. And so taxi rides will cost you money, cost me my mail. I don't get really mail here. Someday I'll show you why I don't get mail here. It's quite complicated. But the packages I get, I do order from Amazon, and I get packages from this place called USA to Georgia. Now, I was getting them basically across the street from what you can see here. There was a Wendy's, and inside there were lockers. And so I just walked down the street, and I would get my packages. I'd get a notification on my phone. Well, then they said, well, we've locked up Wendy's, so now you have to go. I have to get on what would be a 15-minute subway or taxi ride away in another part of town called Saburtalo on Vajapshivela Street, and go way up to the end, and I would go get it. And then I would go through endless. I mean, I went up there about 3 or 4 times. Once I couldn't get anything because they were having some sort of problem. They didn't return my stuff in time from the lockers at Wendy's, which I don't know why they were still trying to deliver them there. Then another time, there was, last time I went to get 5 packages. I thought I'd wait. And all the packages were basically... They couldn't, their computer had problems. And I guess they had so much stuff, and I don't know what. I waited there half hour. I had to take a taxi. So going up there by the metro would cost me basically one ride. You get an hour and a half on a ride. It would cost me half a lari, 50 tetri. And that's about 17 cents American. This time, it was 20 lari to go round trip by taxi and to have the guy wait for me. And that's like about $8. And of course, since I had to wait a half hour, the guy was really patient and wasn't asking for any more money, but I gave him a little extra on top of that. But, so this is what life is like here now. It's just empty. The streets that used to be full of life, completely empty. And, forget about night. I'll show you night in a moment. But it's just, you see like this guy here just wandering. You see people wearing masks, but there's no one else around. I don't wear a mask because I'm an American, and I don't get close enough to people. I mean, if I do, I'll bring up, I do sometimes wear a scarf or something, but now it's getting too warm. But essentially, the town has become this strange, muffled ghost town. It's like you can tell everybody's in their houses, but, it reminds me of a Shirley Jackson story, The Demon Lover, where
This woman was supposed to get married on a day. She goes back to her fiance's house, knocks on the door, and no one ever comes to the door. She just hears these muffled sounds behind the door. Well, that's what all of Tbilisi is like now. Muffled sounds behind the door. So, what's going to happen? Russian Easter, or rather Orthodox Easter, is coming up this week. How are people going to celebrate it? I don't know. They did celebrate it for Palm Sunday, but I could tell it was not normal at all. So anyway, we'll leave this area, and let me tell you about something else here. Go back to Matatsuminda. This is looking over into Tbilisi, and I'm on the side of the mountain here, probably about 2,000 feet up right now. There's my shadow. I should wave, but I'm taking photos. But anyway, here's an interesting thing. The Georgian Orthodox priests got into a motorcade, went around the city blessing it. This was back in early March. That video was taken by my friend DV. That's all he wants to be known as. And I appreciate it. He did the next series of videos. He lives across the street from the large Galleria Mall. And he can go up on the side of the building and look down on the street. And this is what he saw. This is right before, well, he'll explain.
So this is the traffic. It's about 8:20 at night. The curfew goes into effect about 40 minutes. We'll shoot another video here in about 40 minutes and see what's going on. Not really a lot of cops out. They must be changing shift.
Later, after 9, it's just police. Spooky. And that's some sort of official car. There are no more private cars on the road.
Undercover police.
Yeah, everyone moving is either police or some sort of official government vehicle.
Rough life. See all those cops over there? 2 cops over there. There's another cop over there. Nothing to do. This guy still slowly driving down the road.
So special thanks to DV for providing this footage. This really gives you the effect of just the eeriness of... this was the busiest part of town. This is after 9 o'clock curfew time. You can get a 3,000 lari fine, that's about $1,000.
Okay, so there you are. Empty streets, no khachapuri, the cheese substance, the cheesy bready substance. They're not making too much anymore. It's like you can't get into the metro. It's just like places that used to be crowded, just empty. I mean, to get into the Carrefour store now, the last time I passed, midday, I was walking to visit my friends. There was about 30 or 40 people waiting to get in, all spread about 2 yards apart. And so I've decided next time I need to go there, I'm going there first thing at 10 o'clock in the morning rather than wait, because most Georgians don't get up that early. Well, I just hope wherever you are, you're finding a way to live with this. It could last for a while. I did do a more serious discussion of what happens if this does last for a while and how the world is changing as a result of it. I'm calling it the Great Pause right now. It seems like the best way to discuss it. And I do that. You can go right here and read about it on my other site, The Anadromist. Well, I'd like to tell you what the Georgians say to their good friends when they leave. Kagad ichavi, which means be well. And it just doesn't mean be physically well, but it also means be well inside. So I'd like to wish that for you, Kagad. And take care. 3 times. Okay, what else have we got?